Implementing a persistent dark mode in your Next.js app. Easy enough, right? Well, it's not that simple, and here is why. The way to make a dark mode persistent is usually to store a theme value in your client's local storage and count on them to render their own theme. But with Next, you render React pages on the server. So if you take the same approach, you might end up facing the dreaded dark mode flicker.
Here's Johnny!
Yeah, that's right. Major websites like the homepage for Material UI or Chakra UI suffer from this problem. And although it's not the worst problem, it still accounts for a bad user experience. So let's see how to fix it. Well, the server-side rendered page is displayed on the client before the theme can be updated. So we don't have too many options here. We need to add a script to our pre-built HTML pages to prevent them from being displayed until the local storage theme value has been read and the CSS variables have been updated. And only then can the page be displayed. There's a library called Next.themes that can do this for us. Now that we know how it works, let's see how to do it in practice and how I've implemented it with Material UI in my own project, Buzzring. If you don't use Material UI, don't worry, the logic will be the same. For those who want to follow along, see the step-by-step link in the description, and for those who want to see the finished project, I've also added a link to the public GitHub repository. Alright, let's get going. From the Material UI GitHub repository, copy the instructions on the Next.js with TypeScript example and paste it in your terminal, and then run npm install. At that point, we have a Next.js with Material UI project. Now let's clean it up a little. With most JavaScript UI libraries, you'll have the ThemeProvider in your app.tsx file. You want to move it to another component that we'll call PageProvider under the src folder, so that at the end your app.tsx and PageProvider look like this. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time. Now that we've done this, let's implement our dark mode. Let's start by installing the library called Next.themes. Then add the theme provider from Next.theme to the root of your app component. This provider prevents the display of the page as long as the HTML data theme value hasn't been updated. Here it is set to light by default. And now we just want to set our CSS color and background color depending on the data theme. With MUI, you can do this with the global styles component, to which we can give a light background for light mode and a dark background for dark mode. To make sure this works properly, we can go back to our project and switch the data theme from light to dark. Here you can see that the background and the text are properly changing colors. To do that from the app, we have access to the useTheme React hook that I will call from the pages/index.tsx file. It gives us access to the current theme and to a method to change it. And by pairing them with the button, we now have an app that can change themes, persist them, and never flickers on reloads. As you can see here, if I change the page, the theme is persisted. So that would be the end if we didn't use Material UI, but since we use it, we also need to inform it that the theme has been changed. If we go into our theme file into our src directory, we can see that we only have one theme at the moment, and we want to create two, one for light and one for dark. And we want to go back to our page provider and update the theme accordingly using React hooks. Alright, I took the time to make the app a little prettier and I deployed it to Vercel, and here is the final result. If you want to check it for yourself, the link is in the description. And that's how you get a persistent dark mode using Next.js and Material UI. This video is part of a tutorial series on how I built buzzring.io with Next.js and Firebase. So if you're interested in those tools or want to know the story of how I built Buzzring, you know what to do, subscribe. It would also mean the world to me. See ya!